So Matthew Knowles, out of all the peeps, is out here sounding all the way off. And this time, he's pointing fingers at Ye. If he's to listen, Kanye didn't just lose his family, he sacrificed them all for fame, power, and the spotlight. Now, whether you believe in industry secrets, Hollywood rituals, or you're just here for the messy, you do not want to miss this one. We're diving into what Matthew revealed, how it connects to Kanye's controversial journey, and why folks are saying this might be the confirmation we've all been waiting for.
Go into Sony and remind all of these executives when they get too much of a big head, just remember who covered these lights.
Or to Kanye. Or to Kanye.
Whoa! Look at me, please. Someone don't say that.
Let's talk Donda. So according to Ye, his late mother, Donda West, didn't just pass away from complications like they told us. He's saying she was sacrificed. Yes, you heard that right. And it was all so he could rise up in the Hollywood game. This whole theory that celebs got to give up someone close to reach the top, that's been floating around forever. But now to have Kanye, one of the biggest names in music, come out and flat out say it, that's a whole different level of wild. Now let's not forget, he's been blacklisted left and right, basically cancelled by the entire industry after those controversial comments about Jewish folks. Adidas dropped him, brands ghosted him, and he reportedly lost about 75% of his net worth in just 2 weeks. But is he playing it safe now? Absolutely not. If anything, he's doubling down, like he's on a mission to tear the whole industry veil down. In a recent interview, Ye said he's being targeted because, unlike most celebs, he refuses to be controlled. And then he went even deeper, bringing up the whole idea of Hollywood sacrifices and straight up saying his mom was one of them.
They can't control, you get what I'm saying? They can control Shaq, they can control Charles Barkley, they can control LeBron James, they can control Jay-Z and Beyonce.
But not you, man.
But they can't control me.
Now, this isn't the first time people have raised eyebrows about Donda's passing. She died unexpectedly back in 2007 at just 58 years old, right after undergoing multiple cosmetic surgeries. Now, sure, the autopsy said it wasn't surgical error, but it also couldn't pin down a clear cause of death. And things got even messier when the surgeon, Dr. Jan Adams, turned out to have multiple DUI convictions and malpractice suits under his belt. And get this, he literally walked off Larry King Live when they tried to ask him questions about what really happened to Donda. Like, what were you hiding, sir? So this ain't just another Kanye rant. He's bringing receipts, context, and real-life trauma and dragging us into the dark underbelly of Hollywood with him.
You're known as the doctor who killed Donda West.
The deeper we dig into this Donda West situation, the stranger it gets. Like, we're not just dealing with bad surgery and messy headlines. This is giving full-on Hollywood cover-up with a side of suspicious silence. So, Jan Adams came back on Larry King Live in January 2008, talking about he wanted to defend himself. But what kind of defense is it if you bring your lawyer and refuse to answer a single question? The minute Larry asked if something went wrong during surgery, the lawyer jumped in like, nope, we're not going there. At that point, a lot of folks were side-eyeing Dr. Adams hard with his DUI history, lawsuits, and that whole stormy vibe. It wasn't looking good. People started saying he had blood on his hands when it came to Donda's death. But then it takes a whole left turn. Because out of nowhere, Dr. Adams pops up on Inside Edition and says Kanye already knows what really happened to his mom. And instead of taking the blame, Adams shifts the focus to Kanye's own cousin, Stephen Scoggins, who's a registered nurse and was supposed to be taking care of Donda post-op. According to Adams, Stephen left Donda alone after she was given 20 painkillers. Now, to be fair, Stephen denied everything. He pulled out email receipts between him and Donda the night before she passed, showing he was involved in her care and he was actually cleared by investigators. So legally, he's in the clear, but spiritually, the vibes are off all around this situation. And here's where it gets even spookier. Back in 2018, Kanye said he wanted to use Dr. Adams' face as the cover art for his album Love Everyone. He said it was about forgiveness and letting go of hate, which kinda implied he didn't think Adams was to blame. But if not Adams and not Stephen, then who is Kanye pointing the finger at? Fast forward to now, Kanye is basically saying none of this was a coincidence, and he believes his mother was sacrificed as part of the industry's dark side. And to make it even heavier, he started name-dropping other celebs whose loved loved ones died under suspicious circumstances too. It's almost as if he's building a pattern, not just telling his story. So first things first, we gotta be real. There are a lot of wild, unhinged conspiracy theories out there about ritual sacrifices in the entertainment industry. Like some of them are straight up sci-fi. But to say Hollywood hasn't gotten wrapped up in something similar, especially since Tinseltown and the government have always had a close relationship, we can't really settle for that either. And speaking of mind control, you'll remember Harley Pastanac. Yeah, the celebrity personal trainer who works with all the A-listers. Well, Kanye recently put him on blast, and the receipts were disturbing. Ye posted screenshots of texts from Harley that were giving straight-up villain energy. In the messages, Harley basically gave Kanye an ultimatum. Sit down and have a friendly lil convo, or get sent back to the psych ward. And y'all, it wasn't even subtle. Harley legit said, "That's not normal, that's not personal trainer talk, that's handler behavior." Turns out Harley Pastanac used to work for the Canadian Department of National Defense, and he was stationed at a military lab that researched psyops and behavior control. And get this, after that info went viral, that part of Harley's background mysteriously vanished from his Wikipedia page. Real quick, real slick. Now here's where it gets even darker. Remember when Kanye had that mental breakdown in 2016 and got placed on an involuntary psychiatric hold? Wanna guess where that went down? Yup, Harley Pastanac's house. So whether or not you believe Kanye about the sacrifice of his mum, you can't deny there's a very dark underbelly to the entertainment industry. This ain't just glitz and Grammys, there's something off behind the scenes. So the question is Kanye exposing the truth or unraveling in public? Many are still unsure about what to think and how to act when it comes to Ye. We still regularly read comments such as this one. "My heart breaks for this man, he's given us so much of his craft for us to enjoy and rock out to. Man, I think us diehards wish we could help him in any way, because he seems like a damaged person, but his heart and soul is always in the right place. He's a beautiful human being and I will always support him." And on the flip side, you got folks like Matthew Knowles who's taking some sort of pleasure in dragging Ye's name. And it all started ever since Ye decided to cross the line yet again. This time he came for the Carter twins. Yes, Rumi and Sir, Beyonce and Jay-Z's babies. And let me just say, the internet was not having it. A few months back, Kanye got on social media and made some straight up vile and offensive remarks about the twins. He questioned why we don't see them much, and then he went even further, using a slur about their mental capacity and throwing shade at the fact they were conceived through IVF. Now, of course, he deleted the comments after the backlash hit, but screenshots live forever, and the damage was already done. The public dragged him hard, but it didn't stop there, because Beyonce's parents came out swinging. Let's start with Matthew Knowles. Beyonce's daddy was not playing games. In an interview with TMZ, he said, "People pay a price for being stupid, especially in the music industry. Phew, not just calling Kanye out, but dragging him by the wallet." And although Matthew did say he hopes Ye gets the mental help he clearly needs, he made it very clear that those comments about the Carter kids were way out of line. Then there was Miss Tina Knowles, and y'all know she doesn't play when it comes to her grandbabies. She didn't mention Kanye by name, but she definitely addressed the situation. She hopped on social media talking about the difficulty of staying classy in the face of ignorance and evil. That was shade, scripture, and a warning all in one post. Now, Matthew and Tina joined forces during a recent event, and it gave a very clear message. The Knowles family is locked in and not here for nonsense. And it wasn't just them. Fans and celebs alike rallied behind the Carters, calling Kanye out for going way too far. I mean, come on, children are off limits. Everybody knows that. And while nothing's been confirmed, there are rumblings that Beyonce and Jay-Z are consulting legal teams over the situation. If true, that means this was more than just messy. It might get litigious. Speaking of messy, Ye recently crossed the line yet again, and it makes you wonder this time if there even is such a thing as a line with him. Just the other day, Ye posted on X about his sexual experience with his cousin when he was just 14. He explained that the relationship began after he and his cousin, who was 6 at the time, found and looked at adult magazines together. Ye described how their curiosity led to them acting out what they had seen. Song lyrics. In Cousins, Ye raps about hanging with my cousin, reading dirty magazines, and describes how their relationship became sexual. He also mentions making his cousin promise to keep it a secret and reflects on the guilt and confusion he felt. So now the big question is, did Kanye finally go too far this time? Is this just another Ye moment, or is this the start of some real consequences? But what do you think about Ye's unhinged behavior in the media? And do you think Matthew and and Tina were right to drag his name like that in front of a live audience? Let us know what you think down below.